So 5 things that you can do to kill it on social media right now. It does not need to be complicated. I love the whole saying, keep it simple, stupid, Kiss, keep it simple, stupid. It does not need to be complicated. You just need to commit and do it. I'm actually hiring somebody for social media. This is a sidebar. This is my 5th full year in business. So not everyone is doing that. I'm not encouraging that, but I was just talking to somebody who knows social media very, very well yesterday. And the funny thing, not funny, not so funny thing that she said is, a lot of this is not rocket science. It's just showing up and doing it, but most people won't. So I'm going to talk about these things, but I just really encourage you, don't be that average person who most people don't do it. You're supposed to do it, but most people won't do it. The nice thing about social media, guys, is it's free. Unless yes, you can do paid ads, but this is a free medium to reach people and grow your business. So why not? This mistakenly has become my one thing that I know every day I need to show up because it's changed my life. Honestly, like that sounds obnoxious, but honestly, from being somebody who was 40 years old and changed careers from wedding photography to real estate, I needed something. I didn't have funds to market. I needed something to hit the ground running. And this just happened to be it. And also from somebody who literally, guys, I really wasn't even on Facebook personally. I'm not somebody who likes to show my face. I'm not somebody, I had to learn to do this because it's business. And I just really encourage you guys, it's a free medium. Okay, so let's talk about my 5 things. And throughout this, anyone who has something to add that could add value, please add in. So my one thing I'm going to say about social media, my first thing is add value. Think about things that you can talk about, put on whatever you're using that adds value to people. It's not always about me. I sold a home. Yes, as realtors, we need to show that we're active. We've sold homes. Yes, this one sold for $35,000 over. I actually think that adds value because people are knowing, oh my gosh, another one in December sold for 32,000 or whatever over. So some of that, but I really encourage you guys as you figure it out to, we've all seen people, we've all unfollowed people. Learn lessons from those people that we're unfollowing. What was annoying about that? And how can you truly add value? For us, a lot of things, what I'm doing on my social, and by the way, I learned from a lot of people not in the real estate market. And if I'm learning from people in the real estate market, it's outside of Minnesota. So I'd really encourage you guys too, to watch people on social media, whatever field they're in, if it's interior design, if it's, sell it, whatever it is, how are they doing? What are you liking about what they are doing? How are they adding value to you? And then you try to do that for your clients, right? A lot of what I do, I love trends. My clients love trends. So even if everyone can make sure they're muted, that would be awesome. I just heard somebody, no problem. But a lot of my clients, even if they're not buying or selling, they love the trends. They're not always in the new home down the street that's, 1.5. They want to see the inside of it. So I'm adding value that way. I like that anyways. So that's my content. And I really encourage you guys with how you're adding value is to also, this isn't going to be sustainable if you don't like it. So if you are not somebody who likes trends, if your clients aren't somebody who likes trends, maybe you're not talking about trends. Maybe you're a numbers person. Nikolai, I met with you the other day. You're kind of a numbers person. You know your numbers. I'm like, oh, I wish I knew my numbers like that. Like you probably know about the market. You probably know whatever, we have so much inventory, whatever. That's interesting stuff. That can absolutely add value. That could be something that you're adding value on. Okay. So I would just really encourage you guys on your social media to think about the things that you can add value. 2, show up every day. Every damn day. Now, if you are not full-time, maybe you don't need to show up every day. If you don't have a social media presence yet, maybe that would be a lot to start off and show up every day, right? But if this is a medium for you to gain business and you are serious about growing your business, because that's why we're on here, right? If you are serious about growing your business, show up every day. People ask me when I do these, well, how much time do you commit to your social media? Like how much time are you spending every day? A couple hours. because it's important to me. It grows my business, right? I'm even starting to have people, but again, I've been in business. I've been doing this for 5 years full time. So now I'm having some people help me. Now I'm considering hiring someone, but in the beginning, and anyways, I think it's really important that it's authentically you. I think that that's how you're going to grow your business. I think there's a lot of people on here who maybe are like, I don't really like social media. I don't want to do it. And maybe you hire somebody, because the new thing is you can pay people to do this, and you can pay people way too much money. But it has to be you. You are going to grow your followers by being you. So showing up every day with adding value, however that is, but really making a commitment as you guys are thinking about your goals for 2022, thinking about how you are going to show up every day. And guys, if you don't, I'm in my car all the time, like posting stuff. I'm kind of random. That's just how I am. If you don't get things done that way, time block, put it in your calendar, go sit at Caribou, go wherever you are, do it for, 2 hours, 3 hours a day, time block, and get your social media ready. Okay, so showing up every day. What else do I want to say about that? There's programs. I use Later. Later's been a pain in the butt lately because it's not super consistent. Later, that's what we use. Instagram and Facebook, you cannot do LinkedIn on that, but it's a nice platform because you can plan in advance. So when I'm talking about time blocking, you can literally sit for a couple hours, put all your images, swap them around, add content, add hashtags, and do it in advance. You can even have it scheduled in advance. So every morning, if you want something, figure out when you're going to post, but every morning, if you want it, or night, then you have it all scheduled. It automates, it's automatic for you. Hootsuite is another one. I'm going to be looking into that this year. That's something on my list because I think it does more. I think you can do LinkedIn from that. I got to check on that. But I'm looking for something that has more platforms and does more. So bottom line is show up all the time and figure out a way. If you're a really busy agent during your day, figure out a way. There's apps out there to be consistent. Okay. And showing up all the time. I also want to say I've done mine for years. In the beginning, when I did this, so in the beginning, guys, when I did social media, and I did not like social media. I think Marie is on here right now. She's part of our real estate team now. She has built wedding shop businesses selling wedding gowns for over a decade. She has owned social media, and that's how she grew her business. And I remember a long time ago, she told me when I was a wedding photographer, like, that's, Kelly, that's what you got to do. You got to get on social media. And I was like, no, I don't want to. I don't want to show my face. I don't want to do that. But then when I got into real estate, it completely changed my life and I decided to own it. But in the beginning, when I started in real estate, I didn't want to do it. I wanted to hire somebody. So I hired somebody, and it was never me. It was never my voice, and it grew a little bit, but it also grew with people in like Europe and not my content, right? Not my people. I need my people here. So I'd really encourage you guys, no matter what your budget is, to make sure it's you showing up, however that is. Even if you were to like time block and do videos and have that scheduled, make sure it's you. Okay. Number 3, show your face. Show you. People want to know you. And some people aren't going to want to know you, and then they don't follow you anymore. And then that's okay, because those aren't your people, right? We want to talk to our people. This was a hard lesson for me, guys. I know you see now that, one of my things is on social media, I show my face every like 7 to 9. Why? Because I've learned that. I've learned that when I show my face, I get more likes, I get more engagement. People want to know us. It's been a very, very hard lesson. I learned it from Taya. Taya's a lot younger than me and had this, when we started working together and when we started a team, I was just on Facebook. And then she was on Instagram, and I learned a ton from her. And I learned that, she's always showing her face, getting more engagement. And I had to learn to do it. So for some of you who are uncomfortable with that, get over it. You got to get over it. You don't got to. Most people won't. Like I talked to my social media girl, most people won't do it. So most of you won't do it. But if you're committed to growing your business, I'd really, really, really consider it. People want to get to know us. I will say that I've had to have I've had to have parameters around that because for me, I'm not super always comfortable showing my life, but I've gotten more comfortable about it. I'm going to show you guys on Instagram. Here's the thing. We know when we post on Instagram and Facebook, not everyone sees our stuff, but the more likes that we get, the more engagement we get, the more comments we get, the more yes and no's on stories, the more it's going to be shown. So it really is important that we get engagement, right? So if I look at my post, and I'm just going to look at a random post. So this was 41 people liked this. Okay. If I look at something from, okay, so personal, I've been dating someone for about a year now. I haven't shared that. That to me is personal. Again, have parameters around what you want to show, but I did. It's been a year. I showed Brian and I the other day, and this got 172. So the learning lesson for me around that is that's like almost quadruple, triple, help me with the math. It's a lot more. It's a lot more people engagement, right? And even Sarah and I the other day, that's 106 people. That when I show my face, here's another, this is 29 people. So yes, do people like my trends? Sure. Okay, so another thing I like is quotes. It's kind of my thing, but this was only 36 people. So just know where you're getting it and know where you're getting likes, but consider really showing your face and getting personal a little bit more, but also having parameters. One thing I'll say is I have teenage boys. One of them is not comfortable. He does not want to be on my social media. So I respect that. I don't put him on a lot. I ask him if it's okay. The other one doesn't care as much. So then I put them on there. So I just say we have to be cognizant of what we put on there because this is our life too. Not everyone gets to know everything about our lives, but if you can put stuff out there, one learning lesson I will say, Taya taught me. Taya, remember when I don't know, it was like a year ago and she was doing a bathroom remodel. So she's showing the befores, the not pretties, dragging people through the whole thing, and then the afters. Like for me, I always want to show pretty, it's done. She got so much engagement on that of people all the way through that. It was such a learning lesson for me because it wasn't perfected content either. She's showing her face, she's showing her home. It was personal. Okay, so that was number 3, show your face and get personal more. Number 4, video. This is how I mistakenly grew my business in the beginning. I didn't know that that's how I would grow. I wasn't comfortable in front of video, but especially Reels right now, guys, which I haven't owned yet, but Reels are showing up way more on Instagram. But video in general helps people get to know you once again. And it's video and it's the unscripted, non-perfected, not the, hey guys, welcome to this luxury listing for $1 million. It has 6 bedrooms and la, la, la. And it's this perfected video with music. We can all do that. I do some of that, but it's the video that's candid. Hey guys, this is coming on the market this week. Wayzata School, $650. If you're curious, want to know more, reach out. It's or here's a sneak peek, this is coming on, just like, quick stuff. That's the video that people, so it does not have to be perfected. If you're not comfortable in front of video, I will just encourage you, even this, it's still uncomfortable for me. I still get like little butterflies when I do this live stuff, but I know I'm helping people, so I want to do it. But even video, guys, if you're doing recordings, not talking live, even though I'd encourage me to go live more, but video, you can do a couple. You can, if you're not comfortable, you do a few and then you post it, but people get to know you and they like or they don't like you. And you got to find your people, because that's okay. Because guess what? I'd rather go to a listing and win it if they already know for a listing that they don't like me, they don't jive with me, they're more of a numbers person, they're more detailed, they don't like that. That's okay. Then maybe I just don't get to that listing appointment. Maybe I don't get to the table. I'd like to get to all the tables, but maybe I don't get to that table and we're not talking the same. I'm actually okay with that. When you become a really busy agent, it's all right. Let people get to know you. Video is so key. So I'd encourage you guys, as you're writing down your goals for next year, consider it. If you want to grow, figure out how you're going to add value in your videos. back to my number one thing, figure out how you're going to add value. There's some people that I stop because they're like, what are they even talking about? Oh my God, they're just always talking on here. And I don't think it adds value. So you might get unfollowed. So make sure you're coming from contribution and adding value to whoever you're talking to. Okay. Every day, if you are a busy realtor, you have things that you could talk about in a video. And I'd encourage you to have a note section. So all of a sudden you could crank them out. You could even time block the one day of the week that you do your hair. Maybe you could do a couple videos and crank them out. Every day, if you are a busy realtor, you have things that you are engaging in and talk about. If you're at an inspection, you could be talking about radon. You could be talking about whatever it is. Home warranties. Do you believe in them? Do you not believe in them? Should you add them on for $500 on your purchase agreement? Every day you are in things. Right now, we just talked about before this Tuesday collab. What is the market like? Are people still in multiple offers? What is the inventory like? What can you expect for rates? There is always something. I'd encourage you. I think the videos that are under a minute, that are quick, that you get to the point, not, hey guys, how are you doing today? Let's talk about the market. I find the ones that I listen to, and you guys have to see what you engage with, is rates are going up 1%. We're hearing that next year. Can't promise anything, but anyone who's, thinking of buying next year, let's have the conversation now, because your purchasing power might change. You might have to change that going, into next year. So let's talk about that. Whatever that is, we just talked about a million things that you could be writing down in your notes to have videos on. Consider time blocking your time. Do a few videos, then you can have them sprinkled out. Maybe you post one every week. Set a goal around it. My team, I'd really encourage you, everyone on here, what do you want to do for video? You guys know I'm going to encourage all of you. So if you're not doing video right now, some of you are doing it, but if you're not doing it, what is your goal for 2022 for video? You just going to do more? Are you going to do one a week? You're going to do 2 a week? What are you going to do? I also encourage you, don't be annoying. Like, don't show up too much where you're like, oh my gosh, like, is she really talking again? I hope I don't do that to people, but I do show up. So, okay. So my team, I want to know that from you. Okay. So video. And my last thing, number 5 tip for killing it on social media is pick 2 things, pick 2 mediums and own them. You don't have to be everywhere. You don't need to be on Twitter. You don't need to be, if that's not your thing, it's not my thing. But to pick 2 mediums, I think it can be really overwhelming, especially if you don't have a huge social media presence right now. I think it can be really overwhelming to be like, where do I start? In fact, Sarah on my team, rockstar agent, been doing it for 10 plus years. She wasn't on social media before. And that's now, she's been with our team for a few months. That's now something that she's adding. So, but I remember in the beginning, I thought, how can this amazing realtor who's been doing this for 10 plus years, selling over 20 million a year, not know how to get started on social? And this is what I'd say is, you don't need to be everywhere. Do not overwhelm yourself. Pick 2 mediums. Where's your demographic and what are you on? For me, my demographic, I'm 46. Most of my people are on Facebook. I need to make sure to show up on Facebook. I actually prefer Instagram, so I have to remember to go to and post on Facebook. But the nice thing is, when you have Hootsuite, when you have programs like that, you can automatically do it. Okay. So pick 2. My 2 really are Facebook and Instagram. Okay. But I also, my super one up there too, is LinkedIn. I really, really like LinkedIn. I think when you're at an open house, it's easier to find somebody's name out, LinkedIn them. It's not as creepy as like a friend request on Facebook, right? But it's a business medium that I truly have over time gotten business from. Listings and buyers. And so that to me, but again, if you're starting out, pick 2 and just own them. And I know, and I can speak from experience, guys, of somebody who is now for the last 2 years selling 40 million personally, team with my rockstar team selling 100. But I know personally, I didn't know this in the beginning. A lot of this I figured out as I went, but it took me, last year was my 5th year in business. I know by doing this, you can absolutely sell more homes if you show up with authentic, adding value content, and you don't have to be everywhere. Just own 2 mediums. And if you're already owning 2 mediums, how can you go deeper in it? Or should you add one? Should you add LinkedIn? Should you add Twitter? I don't know where your people are, but consider where your people are, and also consider what you like, because it's not going to be likely sustainable for you if you don't like doing it. I did not like doing social media in the beginning. I now like it. I like it. It's my one thing. It's changed my life, even though that sounds obnoxious. It has. If I wouldn't have hit the ground running in real estate, I did not have a slush fund. I did not have anything. I have 2 kids. We wouldn't be living here. I know that now. And that's why I'm so passionate about social media, is because it was my huge thing that helped me launch this business. So I'd really encourage you guys to think about some of those things, to set goals, to write them down. Keep it simple, stupid, KISS, right? Keep it simple. It does not need to be complicated. Figure out how you're going to show up, time block if you need to, and do these things. So those are my 5 things that I recommend to kill it in real estate, or kill it in social media and real estate. Okay. So I've asked a couple of you to show up on here who are killing it in real estate, or have just had some success in the last year on social media. I would love to hear some of those stories. Who would like to share?
So Kelly, to your point, I think everything you went over was so fantastic. One other thing that I would share is talk to your audience and engage with them. So I know one thing that I used to do is, go through new construction homes, and I would ask my audience, do you like white subway tile or black? And then you would do a poll on Instagram story, right? And I noticed when I stopped doing that, I got messages about, oh, I miss those polls that you would do. People start to notice whether or not people are watching, or ask questions on your posts, right? Whenever you post, what design trend do you like? And it doesn't just have to be real estate related. I just did one last week. We had family photos. I did not know what Waylon was wearing, and I did a poll. And there were so many people that engaged with that too. And then also followed up after my family photos. Oh, I saw that you went with the one that I voted. I love it. All that stuff. So I would say, make sure you're talking to your audience and you're engaging with them, because people love that as well.
I love that. I just want to say on stories, we can say yes or no, and you can do polls and things like that. Engagement is going to help you show up to more people. And I love that Shelby didn't just do that on subway tile, which we do, and that is fun too, but you actually did that on what your kiddos were wearing. And I think you specifically too, Shelby, have done a really good job. You did a video the other day and you had Waylon with you. So to me, that's mixing like business and personal, which is great, because we all want to see Waylon. Like, that's so darling. And she's showing that she is a mom doing multiple things and can handle it all. Like, I think that's really great to let people into your personal life where you're comfortable. And I think people see you as very authentic. They relate to you. They want to follow you. They like your vibe. I just think that's fantastic. And then one other thing I want to say is, pick your things of how you're doing that. Paige Gibson, if you're still on here, I think one thing that you have done really well, and I don't know if you're still doing it, but you do like Fridays. David Calhoun, you did this too. I'd love for you guys to speak on this in a sec. You guys both do things. David, you post homes every Friday, right? And then you say, which one do you like better? And it's really fun and it's engaging. Yes, no. And it's kind of like you look forward to that. I wonder if you're still doing that. Like, that's super fun. And Paige Gibson, you would show up and you were doing like house tours on Tuesday or something like that. And that's really fun because, like, for me, you sell in St. Louis Park, you sell in other areas that I haven't seen. That's fun for me, number one, and just buyers and sellers in general. A lot of these homes they're not in. It's super fun for people to see the trends. So who wants to talk on that? I love it.
I can jump on the Tuesday tour real quick. I know David does the comparison stuff more, which is fun too, but I think for first-time home buyers, it's helpful to see oh, this is what a 350 house looks like inside, and kind of starting to get that layout. And so that when they then start home searching, they're a little bit more oh, I really liked that style. And it just an engagement factor helps too.
I think that's great. And also you're authentically adding value to your clients, and you're showing, instead of saying, I sold this, I sold that, I sold me. You're just authentically showing, yeah, I'm in homes. I'm very, very active realtor without saying it. So I think that's brilliant. I love that. I hope you continue doing that. Who else?
I'll add. So, excuse me. So on Fridays, I do house hunters. So I pick 2 houses in the Twin Cities. similar price points. I actually got this idea from an agent I follow in North Carolina. So Kelly's point about following people outside of Minnesota is brilliant. And that's literally how I picked up this idea about a year and a half ago or 2 years now. But people love this. I think I get about usually 50 to 60% engagement on it. So out of my followers every single week, like 60% are actually voting. People look forward to that. I get the most DMs through House Hunters on Fridays. The other thing I wanted to add is, yeah, through stories on Instagram, yes, we want to be engaging. We want people to engage with us, but don't forget to engage with other people. So a lot of times it's like, okay, so what content am I putting out there? What content am I putting out there? Don't forget to follow other people and watch their stories and congratulate them and DM them, because that all helps the Instagram algorithm. Is not how many DMs you're getting, but how much you're interacting with other people. So, don't just do the little clapping emoji or whatever, like actually be sincere and not just like talking about real estate. So don't forget that, because I think a lot of people just think about, okay, what content can I put out? What story am I posting? And then they don't ever actually engage with their followers. So don't forget that.
I will add to that real quick as a time saver from an algorithm style. If I I'm just going to crank through some emails, sometimes I just open up my phone and click stories and let Instagram run through them. And I'm not actually watching them, but then you're watching other people's stories so that you're at the top of their stories and you're just using Instagram, which then you're rewarded for, even if no one has, 8 hours a day to spend on Instagram, but it's just running in the background for you.
I think that's brilliant. I love that. That's a good tip. And David, I love that you brought that up, because that was on my list and I forgot to mention it. When we're talking about showing up on social media, also to give back, be authentic, add comments with people that you want to, and, engage. Yes, do a lot of likes, but add comments, be engaging. I think that's super, super, super key. Okay, what else?
Hey, one thing I'll add too is when someone comments on your Instagram, comment back. Don't just like it or heart it. You should be commenting. I know it can be tedious at times, but that's one of the things Tom Ferry, who's the most well-known real estate coach probably, has just made a point to, is comment back to every single comment. Because if someone took the time to comment on your post or congratulate you, take the time to do it. I know it can be daunting and difficult to do, but that can again help the algorithm, and it just kind of solidifies that relationship with your followers.
Super important. I love it. I love it.
I think that's probably the biggest thing that's helped me is I do get a lot of leads on Instagram, but I would say the people that I get on Instagram that I help are arguably the easiest clients to work with. And it's because they already know me. They tune into my stories. I comment on theirs. I engage with them. We already talk. They know I found a creepy crawl space in my house. They know things about me. And I think, people want to work with other people. So if you're not showing your face, if you're just putting just sold, here's this house, whatever, if you're not putting yourself out there, they don't know who you are. And people want to follow other people. They want to feel like they know you. And the best compliment I get at a buyer consult or a listing consultation is, I feel like I already know you. And for the most part, they kind of do, because I've let them into my life. And I agree with David, make time to be involved in other people's lives. It's a free way for you to stay in touch with your past clients, your potential new clients, and your sphere.
Taya, how much time would you say that you spend a day on social media, and do you time block?
Yes, I time block. I time block mainly to get posts scheduled. Obviously stories are throughout the day. My screen time is 9 hours a day. And I guarantee you, it is mainly Instagram's my thing. I don't do LinkedIn. I despise LinkedIn. Don't put me on LinkedIn, but Instagram's my thing. Sometimes Facebook. But a lot of that too is me keeping up at what people are doing. I will look up my past clients and see what they've posted and comment on it.
And that is, I've learned so Taya, over 27 million sold this year. So major producer getting a lot of business from social media and spending a lot of time on it. So like for us, if you're not going to do that, you need to figure out another medium to lead gen, right? So this is when she's spending 9 hours a day screen time, like this is her one thing. She's generating a lot of business doing it and being authentic about it too. So I think that's brilliant. What other awesome takeaways, guys?
Hey, one thing I wanted to add too is when we're adding value, like sometimes don't underestimate the value add of like comedic relief for your followers. Like that sometimes is the value add you can provide to people following you is a laugh or to make them feel good because you're posting a picture with your kids or your spouse or whatever, or like decorating the tree. Like honestly, you guys, that's the type of value I try to go for. Yes, we'll talk about the market, we'll talk about, home trends and house hunters, people like that. But also like people follow you because they they want to feel good. I mean, so don't underestimate, like sometimes that is the value. I mean, you're sharing a post from like some cheesy, Instagram page, like the broke agent, something that's funny. People really like that. So don't underestimate that type of value either.
I love that. I think that's a really good point. And that's David and I have never even met in person. It's like, well, I see you and we've met really because of Instagram, right? But I feel like I know you because of stuff like that. And you do post funny things like that. And I think that's brilliant. For me, I have to remind myself to do stuff like that. It's not as natural for me because I'm like, I need to add value. I need it to be these, but I think that is such good. And wherever we're lacking, it's just good to hear what other people are doing and have success, because maybe we can add some of that. Whether you're being too personal, maybe you need to add more business, or maybe you're all business, need to add more personal type of thing. What else, guys?
Can I add something to what David just said?
Absolutely.
So hi, I'm Rachel, everyone who doesn't know me. But the other day I was wrapping a Christmas present and I put how awfully I wrapped it on Instagram, and it was a disaster. But I got so much engagement of people like, oh, well, here's a video and here's this and here's that. And it had nothing to do with real estate. But a ton of people messaged me on Instagram for it and was like, here, you can do this. And I was like, oh, I haven't talked to you in a while. Like, how are you? And so it did help, to what David said, grab some engagement for people I haven't talked to in a while, because they were laughing at how horribly I wrapped this Christmas present. But that's just kind of an example of what he said. And it does truly help.
It's random though, and it's personal. And I really, really like that. And it's not like you were like, hey, are you planning on buying or selling next year? No, you're just being real. And hey, how are you? And then authentically, these conversations come up. I love that. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
What else?
Hey, can I add one more thing? I know we're going long here, but this might sound a little overwhelming, all of the social media talk, but I think a lot of it is trial and error. Like you have to find what your audience is going to engage with, right? Like we didn't all come to like the point where we are today with our social media, how great it is, or how poor it is. Like it takes time to learn what your followers like and are engaging with. So like, don't be afraid to try certain things. The worst thing you can do is not do anything and not post a reel and not do a post and not show your face and not do video, because you don't know what's going to work for you. My thing is stories. Like that's where I get a ton of engagement. And so I'm fine, but then I'm fine tuning that. Okay. So my stories are a lot of houses, but then it's a lot of personal too. And so it's really about like finding your niche through your social media to find exactly what your followers are engaging with. And the only way you do that is by doing it over and over again and fine tuning it throughout the years. So I know it can be overwhelming, but you have to start to find what people are engaging with.
I love that. And you just got to figure it out, and you got to post, and you have to be vulnerable sometimes, right? Like, there's been times where I've taken some things down, maybe it didn't get a lot, and you learn from it. So David says over the years, because he's been doing this for a little bit, so have I, but I'm still learn every time. And I just really encourage you guys, it's hard to sometimes put yourself out there. We're saying do video. We're saying get more personal, be more vulnerable. And I'm going to share something that just happened to me. Like when you're out there and you're doing stuff, and if you watch people, it's Emily podcast. I'm a big freaking fan of right now. Like I love different podcasts, but this girl's making a ton of money. She's doing very, very well. And a lot of what she's saying is you're going to get haters. You're going to get people that don't like it. And it's like, I love hearing that, because I haven't had a lot of that negativity, but I just did the other day, promoting this thing the other day I put out, which thank you for all being on here because you guys saw it and we're on here. But I had some guy reach out to me and say, that is the most obnoxious thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, okay, don't be offended. But here's the thing. If you put yourself out there, you know what? He's not my people. And I got to learn to not be offended by that. I am going to find my people. You guys are on here. You're my people, right? And just, it's hard to hear some of that, but just go the other way. Those aren't your people. You block those people or whatever, and you move on. But we all have to be, even though I've been doing this for a while, I still have to remind myself to not take things personally and to be vulnerable. Find your people and, show up more on social media. If you want to change if you want to sell more, if you want to change your world in real estate. What else?
I think a good way to wrap it up too is just to not be afraid to take a break. I know, Kelly, you're really good at showing up every single day, but I will take mental breaks, and I think it's okay. It's okay to take a break. If you start to hate it or if you're feeling burnt out, don't force it. It's okay.
Yeah, I've had to learn that from you, and I love it. And I think that's real. And I think when you are real, that's where you get more engagement. I've always been somebody where I'm like, I work 24/7, which I have, and then I burnt out and I don't as much anymore. But I think that's really real to be and do that and take a little break if you need to. If it's too long, someone's music's going on. If it's too long, consider it hey, can someone mute their awesome music? But anyways, someone I think is in the car and maybe needs to turn out their music. How can I mute them? I just don't know who it is. But anyways,
find them in the participant list and mute them.
Yeah, but I don't know who it is.
It's her Akande Smith.
Okay, what did Taya just say? I can't even remember what she just said. Taya, what did you just say that I was going to collaborate on?
That it's okay to take a break.
What?
That it's okay to take a break.
Yeah, take a break if you need to so you don't get burnt out. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up there. Everyone, dance party real quick. I'm going to be doing more of these. I'm going to be showing up more on social media. Join as you wish. Every Tuesday, we're going to do agent collab, followed by many times by a training. I will be launching a new Facebook and Instagram for trainings like this. I will put it on my social media, so follow along if you like. Thank you, everyone, for showing up. Have a great day. Reach out if you need me. Bye, guys.